Hi, House Democratic Leader Christine Greig here. Well, we're wrapping up another week of the Capitol. Thought I'd walk you through a couple of the things, but actually before we get to Lansing, I want to thank everyone that showed up my first town hall meeting for the 100th legislature. We had 85 people come to that. And I want to give a special thanks to Congresswoman Haley Stevens, State Senator Jerry Moss, State Representative Robert Wittenberg, and State Representative Kyra Bolden. We just had a great turnout and great conversation with issues that are on people's minds. So keep up the great engagement and let us know what's on your mind. So here at the Capitol this week, we tackled a few resolutions. I've been talking about this in the past, but two new resolutions came up this week. The first one was a resolution to ask the Supreme Court to actually weigh in on the challenge to what we call the adopt and amend strategy that was taken in lame duck for the Citizens Initiative to raise the minimum wage and to implement earned paid sick time. Now, if you can remember what happened was that we had this fantastic Citizens Initiative. Hundreds of thousands of Michiganders signed on to raise our minimum wage to $12 an hour by 2022. The Republican-controlled legislature back in last term really did not support at all this initiative. So the strategy that was used is, let's go ahead and adopt this in the legislature, which is an option under our Constitution, and then it doesn't even need to go on the ballot. But what they were doing is they adopted it and then they amended it when we came back in lame duck. So when you amend it that way, it only takes a simple majority versus 3/4 majority if you adopt it through the ballot initiative. So they were able to actually gut the proposals before they even became effective. So of course that's going to be challenged. In our history in the state of Michigan, we've never had this happen before, where we've adopted a citizen initiative and then changed it in the same legislative section. So we're asking for that decision to go straight through to the Supreme Court for the state of Michigan, so that we have clarity on whether that was actually constitutional for the Republican-led legislature to do last term. Obviously, I'm really hopeful and proud that they're going to vote on the side of the citizens who, again, worked so hard to have that initiative passed to make sure that our citizens are raised up out of poverty. You have to pay a livable wage, and one job really should be enough. Now, one of the other big things that happened here in Lansing this week is Governor Whitmer issued a new executive order on the reorganization of the Department of Environmental Quality, and it will now be called EAGLE. And what that does is creates public advocate position for social justice, or environmental justice, sorry, and also for clean water. So when the public sees something, they have someone to say something to. So these advocates are absolutely critical. And it just allows the governor and her administration to better organize to make sure that we're putting water quality and public health at the top of our list when it comes to environmental safety in the state of Michigan. And then today, actually, I was just had such a great meeting with representatives from the Pink Fund, and that's my button right here. The Pink Fund is a charitable organization that helps primarily women, but men also, that are dealing with cancer, frankly, and they have all these financial needs that aren't covered with basic health care. So maybe a house payment, maybe a car payment, it may be actually paying their health care premiums. Because of their treatment, they're no longer able to work, and so they need additional help. So the Pink Fund comes in and they kind of help them get by with one less worry. And so it was absolutely fantastic to meet with the founder, Molly McDonald, today, and other representatives to talk about how the legislature can help with some of the administrative snags that they hit all the time when they're trying to help cancer patients. So that's it. It's been actually kind of a short week in terms of session, but the committees are up and running and they're starting to hear testimony on bills. So I can't wait to fill you in on what happens next week. Thanks again for joining me.